Hey everybody, how you doing? This is James from Wix1.com, Wix1.com. This is a soft unboxing for the BlackBerry Z10. There's the box. Here's the device. Let's put this onto the side for a minute. USB cable. Fairly long, not too bad. Headphones with a microphone. Documentation. There's a Snapdragon Qualcomm chip in this one. Well, let's see if I can get this out. More documentation. And power block. Same one as all the rest of the devices. This is the BlackBerry Z10. It's a dual-core 1.5 gigahertz processor. It's a Snapdragon processor. It has 2 gig of RAM. Has expandable storage. Up to 64 gig actually. It has HDMI on the side as well as the charging port. The back does come off. (1800 milliamp battery). This is where your SD card slot is. SIM card. Battery comes out. 8 megapixel camera and LED flash. On the back here is a NFC chip. It just kind of snaps on back here. Pretty easy actually. No fuss. Actually, pretty easy to put back together. This runs on QNX. QNX is the operating system developed for this type of phone and also for the BlackBerry Playbook. QNX is a real-time operating system, RTOS, so it means it's made to be on all the time. The way you start this phone is from the bottom. You swipe up, and if you swipe down, there are some settings. In the settings, there's the usual notifications and Wi-Fi and rotation lock, Bluetooth and alarms and more settings. For the most part, when you're going to look at the phone, you'll see icons just like any other smartphone these days. They go from right to left and left to right, and you can drag one on top of the other to make a folder, which is not really, a big deal. This device has an 8 megapixel camera in the back and a 2 megapixel camera on the front. So that's pretty nice. It does take very good pictures, and it does 1080p video. So overall, a good standard device for this time period. Some of the differences in this one is when you want to, say for instance, check your text messages or emails, or in this case you have BBM as well, you kind of, there's this thing called the hub, and the way you get to it is you push up and over. So it's a right angle to get into your messages and information. So you just kind of up and over, and you can just let go, or you can go and do something about it, depending on what you want to do. It does have that red light indicator up here, like all BlackBerries do. The battery is quite good. 1800 milliamp battery. It does last. I've seen it go more than a day and a half. No problems. I've pushed it real hard at times, and it's gotten pretty good. This device also supports active frames. So these are applications that are not turned off, but they're kind of in a minimized state. So they just kind of sit there until you want to use them. You click on them and they get bigger. So the BlackBerry Z10 is the first flagship of its kind with the BlackBerry 10 operating system. After this, there'll be a Q10 with a keyboard. This particular one has no keyboard, but it has a touchscreen keyboard. And it has an interesting type of technology for the way that the typing works. So let's go and see if I can show it to you. This is the browser. And the browser is actually very fast. It, in my opinion, is one of the fastest browsers in the industry right now. So that's the keyboard. Let's see if I can zoom in fairly well. No, it's not working so good. Anyways, when you type, there are little suggestion words that show up on top of the keys, and you can flick them up, and they just kind of float up into the place where you're typing. At first, it looks like it might be hard to use, but if you practice a little bit, you'll find that it's actually quite easy to use, and you won't have to type as much because the words will already be there. It's very smart, and it learns as you use it, and it actually does learn. So over time, you'll find yourself having a custom sort of device. This device will think and learn, and over time become very personal. So I would say that the BlackBerry Z10 is a very good personal device. The call quality is excellent. It almost sounds like two landlines. So when you're talking to somebody else, it has very good noise cancellation. It's clean, it's sharp, and the overall sound is really good. And there are more settings for the sound. There's more treble and more bass you can add, and it's already well balanced to start with. So I would say that the BlackBerry Z10 in-call experience is very good, as is the signal strength for being a cell phone. I have been in 4G service anywhere I've gone. I've yet to see it drop below 4G. This is on Rogers Wireless, and I was actually quite surprised that almost anywhere I went, I would manage 4G at the very least. Also, this is an LTE phone, so you can get blazing speeds for your internet if it's not already blazing on the 4G, because it does support LTE, and it has 2 gig of RAM. So this is the BlackBerry Z10. Many people have been waiting for this device to come out for quite a while, because BlackBerry, as we know, has been up and down in the charts and the market share. But I would say that they've done a very good job with developing this device. It has auto rotation that works perfectly well. It's not choppy, it's clean. Everything works as it should. Even in the browser, you have many features you can add. There's actually a reader in here, and plenty of other types of information. There's settings, there's site info, find on page, reload, and everything about this device screams social and sharing. This is basically a communication tool, but it's also become a sharing tool, and a social one at that. There are not thousands of apps available at the moment that are, I guess, what you've been looking for or what you are used to seeing. There are some apps that are kind of copies of other apps, but there are some good native apps, and the ones that are native are excellent quality. You will find that the native apps are very good, and if some of the Android ported device apps as well on here are quite good as well. But like any ecosystem, you have good ones, you have bad ones, you have intermittent ones, and you have excellent ones. I found that there's more apps growing every day on this new platform because it is brand new. BlackBerry 10 is its own platform. They built it from the ground up, basically. So this is not Android. This is not iOS. This is QNX. So this is the third operating system in the mobile space outside of Windows Phone. So this is quite good, and I would say that over time this will become one of the larger players in the mobile space because of their attention to detail and their infrastructure understanding, be it BES or other types of security features. There is no BIS. There's no BlackBerry Internet Service with this device. It doesn't need it, and it doesn't run on it. And yes, it does have BBM, and it does work. What you're going to have to do, though, with your BBM ID, BlackBerry ID, is you're going to have to rename it to a different email address from the BlackBerry.com website, and then you'll be up and running, and it'll be all over. So you won't have any troubles. I had to do the same thing myself. So I would say if you're interested in getting the BlackBerry Z10, it's a quality device. It works well. The battery lasts quite a long time. The sound quality is good. The volume is excellent. The signal is excellent. There are not many bad things to say about this device. It's well made, well manufactured. It looks very nice, and it's comfortable to hold in the hand because of the rubberized back. The only downside will be not as many apps to start with out of the gate, which will grow over time. It was the same for iOS, it was the same for Android, and there are some Android apps that are being ported over to the BlackBerry OS already anyway. So I would say if you're interested, check it out, pick one up. I think you can get it for around 140 bucks on a 3-year term, $5.99 outside of that. This is the BlackBerry Z10. WIX1.com.